spices and make your own. Of course, you could just go on the Google and look up how to make Sazon without using the seasoning packet. But a lot of times there's seasonings that I don't have normally, like annatto seeds. How do you replicate that? So annatto seeds are from a tree that are colored kind of orange, and you can get that from the color of cayenne. So I'm going to make my own Sazon here, and I'm going to use hardly any chemicals at all. What I have mixing here is 1/8 of a teaspoon of poultry seasoning. Because a lot of people use chicken broth, I noticed, for their Spanish rice. So I'm going to try to get that poultry kind of flavoring in there. And that's also got sage and nutmeg, and a little bit, and the nutmeg's going to give it a little more color. And then I have a little bit of French's yellow mustard. I know that sounds weird, but yellow mustard is mostly turmeric as a first ingredient, so I've only got about a teaspoon of yellow French's mustard in there. And to that I've got some water, and to that I've got some curry, which has a ton of turmeric in it, but only 1/8 of a teaspoon of curry. And to that I've got chili powder, cayenne, cumin, and coriander. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this in, and because I don't have peppers and all that, what I did was I'm using whole Roma tomatoes with garlic and basil. Oh, and I've got oregano in there too. And I've got like 2 of the tomatoes crushed up into 1 cup. And over here I've got half of a yellow Spanish onion, some garlic, and I'm using the zest of a lemon and a lime, and I might use some of the juice. And over here I've got 1 cup of water, and over here I've got 1 cup of tomatoes with basil waiting with a little bit of apple cider vinegar. And what I've done here is I've toasted in my Paladine purple speckle pan 1½ cups of long grain rice. I'm using a long grain rice. And I rinsed my rice really good first. And I've only got 1 tablespoon, it's only 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. See, a lot of people are using 1/2 cup, 1/4 of a cup of corn oil, 1/3 of a cup of olive oil. Don't need all that. So I'm doing 1½ cups. I hope you don't. I'm going to hope to prove that you don't. Okay, so I don't know if you can really see, but my rice is toasted. You just want it to get to where it's all like toasted, but you don't want to burn it. You just want it browned a little bit. And then to that I'm going to add my tomatoes, I guess, next, right? That's what I should add. So let me do that. Let's see. I'm going to try to make this without using any weird spices or salt. So put that in. I don't know if you can see that. There it is there. And those are my tomatoes going in. I'm going to crush up. Some of them are still a little too cold. That's nice because I want some flavor in there. And I did less water because I've got other stuff that's going to go in. I don't know why, but I put a little splash of apple cider vinegar in everything that I do. Especially when I'm using a lot of seasonings. I just think it's really cleansing. And then in here, I'm just going to put my little my homemade Sazon that I've whipped into a paste by just stirring it with a chopstick. And then I'm going to put my water in here. My water should come to just above the 1 cup of water added in here. Stir this in really good. Should bring it up to, because I want to cook out the mustard flavor of and I want this to turn yellow. You can't really see, probably. I want this to turn yellow. It looks very, very tomato-y right now, but it's not going to look that way. You'll see. It's going to look more towards yellow, orange, like the Spanish rice does. Alright, so I'm going to keep this on medium. So I've got my tomatoes, I got my homemade Sazon with my turmeric, my curry, my oregano, my cumin, my cayenne. Might need a little more cayenne in there. And a little poultry seasoning, nutmeg, and a little bit of curry. My mustard, my splash of apple. I'm just going to let that cook on medium. And I'm going to, actually my medium is really high, you just got to gauge it, so you don't want it to burn, but you want it to bubble. And then I'm going to put my my cup of water to that. And I may need to put more water in it because I want just enough water to be just above my rice. And then I'm going to cook down my seasoning, so I want maybe just a splash more water because there's areas that aren't covered. This is going to cook for a while. So that's more batter. It's going to cook. Let's see how it looks. Okay, so it's going to cook, and you can see how it's taken on a golden flavor on the edge, like a golden look around the edges. This is going to cook on medium, uncovered, for about 30 minutes. I'm going to check it at 15 and 20, and then I'll get back to you and show you what it's doing. And at the very end, I'm going to throw in a little bit of peas, just to kind of assimilate the look of pigeon peas, which I don't have. You can substitute frozen sweet peas for. So I'm going to let this cook for about 20-25 minutes and check it at medium, and then I'm going to turn it down to low and put a cover on it for 10 minutes when I get my peas in there. And I'm going to add a little bit of pepper at the end, and I'll show you how it turns out. And that's going to be my authentic Puerto Rican version of rice. Oh, I forgot. I have to put a little bit of, I have to put my onions in there and my, whoops. Let me just do this real quick. I'm going to put the juice of 1 lime and the juice of a little bit of lemon in there. And I've got the zest. I forgot my onions and stuff. Oh. Alright. This is all going to cook together. I got the zest of my lime and my lemon, and I've got my garlic, and I've got my onion, lime, lemon, zest. That's going to try to substitute for annatto, the bitterness of the annatto. It's going to brighten it up really nicely. Okay, so now it's all together. Sorry about that. It's all together. I could have added it in later, but it's going to cook because I want my onions to cook really, really good. And I'll show it to you when it's done. Yellow rice. And the only thing that I would do different is probably not stir it so much and not put as much water in. Yellow rice. And the only thing that I would do different is probably not stir it so much and not put as much water in.